Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Tim Tokwe. In today's tutorial, we are going to be making this straight skirt with a front side slit. And as you can see, the slit has a zipper from the waist to the hemline. So if this is what you are interested in, then let's get started. So I've gone ahead to fold the fabric into two. We'll be drafting the back part first. So what I used to fold this is I use my hip measurement to fold this fabric into two. So I divided my hip measurement into 4, and then I added some extra allowance. So I added like about 3 inches allowance just to fold the fabric into two. So what I'm going to be doing now is to determine the length, is to mark the length of the skirt. So the length of the skirt is 28 inches. So I'm going to be adding 2 inches seam allowance to it as hemming allowance. So I'm going to be marking 30 inches for the skirt length, and then I'm going to draw a straight line on this point. So what we're doing now is to mark the waist area, mark the waistline. So this skirt is going to be that less. So I'm going to be dividing my waist measurement into 4, and then I'm going to be adding 1 inch allowance. And then I'm going to, from the waist, I'm going to be marking 8 inches. This is the length of the hip, from the hip length from the waist. That is 8 inches. So I'm going to, on this 8 inches mark, I'm going to be marking my hip measurement. So I'm going to be dividing my hip measurement into 4, and then I'm going to mark it. Then I'm going to be adding 1 inch allowance, seam allowance to it. And so what I marked for the hip here is what I'm going to be marking at the hem line, but I'm going to be coming in by half of an inch. That is, I'm going to be subtracting half of an inch from it. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark it on the hem line. So now I'm going to be connecting the 3 points together. So I'm going to be connecting the hip parts using my curve rule. So I'm just going to connect it just like this. And then I'm going to be turning it to the other side to connect it towards the hem area. Then I'll be finishing the rest with my straight ruler. So this will be all for the back pattern. So I'm going to go ahead now and cut it out. So I've gone ahead to fold my fabric into two, and then I'm going to be placing the back part on it just to cut out the front pattern. So then I've also leave 2 inches allowance here for the zip. That's going to be the zipper allowance. So now I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out. So now I'm going to remove the back part from it, and then this is the front part of the skirt. So I'm going to be locating the center. I will be notching the center like this. So that will be the center of the front part. Then there is going to, remember that the skirt has a slit at the front. So the slit is going to be on the left side. So I'm going to be using my half of my nipple to nipple measurement to determine where the slit is going to be. So this part facing up is my left side. And so I've already marked half of my nipple to nipple measurement is 7 inches. So half of it is 3.5. So I've marked 3.5 to mark the slit area. But remember that we added 2 inches allowance for the zipper allowance. So that's what I added here, and I have 5.5. I have 5.5 inches. So that means from the center to this mark now I have 5.5 inches. And then from the hem line also I'm going to be marking the 5.5 inches. So now I'm going to be connecting the line to from the waist to the hem line. I'm going to be connecting it with my ruler, marking it a straight line like this. So this will be the part that will be slashed for the slits. So now what I'm going to do is to hold these two at the both ends and then place it like this so that I can have that place lying flat and straight. And then I'm going to cut through with my scissors. So that will be the front slit area. So I'm just going to open it up like this, and then on both sides I'm going to be holding in 2 inches for the zipper allowance. I'll be holding 2 inches here. So this is what the front part is going to look like. So then I'm going to be fixing a zip from the lower part to the upper part. So what I'm going to do now is just to hold this together with a pin so that I can shape it. I can shape the other part of the skirt and do every other thing before fixing the zipper, because the zipper will be the last thing I'm going to be doing on the skirt. So I'm going to open it up like this. But then I'm going to be cutting a facing for this skirt, for the waist area, because there's not going to be a lining for this skirt. So I'm going to be cutting a facing. So I'm going to be cutting it. I'm going to be placing the facing for the back parts first. So the width of this piece of fabric that I cut is 2 inches. So I'm going to be placing the back pattern on it, the back fabric on it, then cut it out. So you can see I already cut out the facing. So I'm just going to place it on it like this. While before sewing, I'm going to make sure the right side is facing the right side and turn it over. So when I place it like this, making the right side on the right side, then I'm going to stitch it down. Then I'm going to flip it open and top stitch before flipping it over to the wrong side. So I'm going to be doing this front part. So I'm going to be cutting out the facing for it. But I'll be doing it separately because it's in 2 parts. So now I'm going to cut out the facing for this front part. I'm going to make sure that the wrong side is facing the wrong side. That is to cut, not to sew. So if I'm cutting for the wrong side, for the front part, I'm going to make sure that the wrong side is facing the wrong side while cutting the facing. So I'm going to pin it down so that it can be stable, and then I'm going to cut it out, like trim it off, cut out the facing. So I'll be trimming this other side to just make sure that it is very accurate, and then I'm going to be doing the same thing to the second part. So I'm still going to be placing my facing underneath such that the wrong side is facing the wrong side, so as to cut out the facing. So after cutting now, I'm going to be sewing. So now to sew, I'm going to be placing it, making sure that the right side is facing the right side. So to cut the front part, to cut the facing for the front part, the wrong side will be facing the wrong side. But while sewing, the right side is going to be facing the right side, because I'm going to be flipping it to the other side. So I'm going to stitch it down like this, then top stitch, and then flip it to the other side. So I already make the facing, so the facing for the back part. You can see I top stitch, and this is the front part. So I already did that. I already top stitch it, and also kind of top stitch this on the side, hold it down on both sides too. So now I'm just going to hold it together with my pin. You can see that I've hold it together with the pin, and here this is the front part. I'm going to be placing the back part on it, and then I'm going to be holding it together. Then I'll be stitching it together with 1 inch on both sides. So before stitching, I'm just going to go ahead and pin it together. So I'm going ahead to stitch both sides with 1 inch, and you can see this is what the skirt look like. But then we are going to be working on the hem part, so we'll be hemming the down part. And so I'm going to be opening up the skirt just like this, and then I'll be folding the hem area by 1.5 inch, and then fold it again by 1/2 inch. Then I'll be stitching it all the way down. So I'm done doing that. You can see I'm done stitching the down part, and so what we have left is to fix the zip. So now, instead of fixing the zip from the top to the down like this, I'm going to be fixing it from the down to the, so you can see the opening will be from the down part towards the up area. So now I'm going to be placing the zipper like this. You can see the way I'm placing it. Please make sure you place it like this so that you can get the right results. So now I'm going to be leaving a spacing of 2 inches, because we left 2 inches for the zipper allowance, remember. So I'm going to be pinning it down, leaving that spacing of 2 inches all the way down. So this part, I'm going to be folding it in like this, and then I'm going to go ahead and stitch down the zipper on the fabric. I'm going to be fixing this side first. So I've fixed the first side. So now we'll be fixing the second side. So I'm going to open it up completely. I'm going to remove it completely. And so I'm going to be placing it on the fabric like this. And I also be leaving the 2 inches spacing that we left on the other side. I'm going to be leaving it here too, because that's what we left for the zipper allowance. So I'm going to pin it down. Although I'm going to be trimming part of this zipper allowance off later, because it seems to be too much. So I might just reduce it to 1 inch. So I'm going to pin it down all the way down using the 2 inches mark. And then I'm going to be folding this part like this, just like we did to the other side. So I'm going to go on to my sewing machine now and sew this on the fabric. So this is what we have for the skirts. We have our complete skirts now. So you can see the zip can be opened from the down part. So you can open, if the client wants to wear it, you have to open it completely like this and wear it from the upper part like this. Then zip it down. So this way the client can control how much slit or how much opening you want to leave at the lap, how much you want the slit to, how long she wants the slit to be. So kindly like this video, subscribe, and also give your comments on this skirt. Would you like to wear this skirt? See you in my next video.